You gonna crack open the melon? Look at this. Whoa. What do you think of it?
I think it's lovely.
So we were round at a family member's, and it was a day where all the family was round. So we had all the nieces and nephews, and there was kind of a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And my daughter started struggling really kind of emotionally. Things weren't kind of going the way that she planned, and you kind of started kicking out at people a little bit, didn't you? You started getting a bit overwhelmed and started shouting.
Because I didn't want, because I was gonna blow up the paddling pool, and like there was 3 rings and there was 3 people. And then Juliet got to do the second ring, but I wanted to be second because I like even numbers more than odds.
Exactly. But you were getting really upset, and in fact you started shouting at people.
Yeah,
and
because it was so overwhelming.
Yeah, you found it quite overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And also like lots of people there, lots of energy there. And what happened was, when I first saw my daughter shouting, I kind of did an initial response, and I shouted, "Molly!" as in like, don't do that, in a kind of disapproving, quite aggressive tone. And I instantly regretted this. I knew that I was just showing her that shouting was okay because I was doing it. So I kind of thought for a moment, I was like, well, that I just completely reacted. I didn't even think about how to approach this situation in a way that would support my daughter. And what kind of happened was, everyone was kind of trying to reason with you, weren't they? They were trying to talk to you. They were trying to kind of help you understand the situation, but you just were so emotionally gone almost that
I didn't even listen because my crying was so loud.
Yeah, and it was just crying over everything, and she just seemed kind of inconsolable. So I kind of just walked over, and I kind of knelt down in front of her, and I just looked at her and I said really compassionately, "I see that you're struggling." And I hugged you, I hugged you. And
so long.
It was the longest hug I think maybe we've had in a long time. It was about 10 minutes, and you just cried on me, and I didn't say anything after that. The pair of us were just so silent, because it was just, that's what she needed. She didn't need me to give her a massive lecture or to go on about why she should be reasonable, why she shouldn't be feeling like that, why she shouldn't be behaving like that. It was, what I did was, instead of reacting to her behaviour, I saw the feelings behind it, and I cared to the feelings behind it. And I think that's what's really important. It's when, as parents, we can see the feelings behind the behaviours of our children and see when they're struggling, and instead of trying to reprimand the behaviour that we don't like, to try and help them and support them through their struggles, and simply just saying, "I see you're struggling," and just hugging her was showing her that I was there for her. It was showing her that I see that she's overwhelmed, and supporting her. It was actually one of the most beautiful moments, and I felt incredibly proud of myself for not getting so cross, because sometimes it's easy as parents to get cross with children when they're shouting or they're, speaking to people in a way that you don't want them to speak. And the way that I like to approach this is to not just try and control their behaviour, but support them emotionally. And this way their behaviour not only changes because they feel happier in themselves and they feel more loved and they feel more supported, but because it shows them how to care. It shows them not to shout and not to get cross and not to be aggressive, because when we are kind to them through their struggles and we are, there for them, and we see the feelings, we show them how to see the feelings in other people too, and how to care for people's emotions, as opposed to, it teaches them a sense of empathy. And that's kind of like what I thought was so amazing about this experience that we had. It was so simple, but there was so much to it that made it work. It was the fact that I didn't go and lecture, and I didn't go and talk and just say words that she was not ready to hear. You know, once she was emotionally supported, then we can discuss ways to approach the situation that doesn't hurt other people, you know, and that isn't aggressive towards other people. But in order to get to that point where we could discuss a more appropriate way to approach the situation, she had to have her kind of emotional cup refilled and to feel loved, supported and safe. And that's what that did. And I think after the cuddle, I think it ended because something made you laugh. And I know that once my daughter's kind of like, if she starts laughing after she's been upset, I know that she's feeling better, you know. I know that she's feeling more supported and loved and safe, and she feels safe enough to enjoy herself again.
And,
you know?
And also, if I start laughing, sometimes my mum might say, don't you start laughing and start making me laugh even more.
So how did you feel when I came down and said I saw you're struggling?
I felt a bit loved, but while I was doing the cuddle, I felt really loved.
Oh, funny. That's really sweet. So you thought that was a nice way to speak to you? Mm-hmm. And did you feel like it helped you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. And to follow our raw vegan homemade adventures, check me out on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Happy on Fruit. Have a great day.
Watermelon pies.
Watermelon pies. You're going to munch this now.